ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमः। ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमः। ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्री मूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत ध्वंतहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बर साम्बोधे पदाम्बुजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते गौराविर्भाव भूमेष्ट निर्देष्ट सज्जन प्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। मंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतोपंगो मम मंदमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्भोजौ श्रीराधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्याद् वृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमद श्रीमद् रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद् राधा श्रील गोविंद देवौ प्रेष्ठालिवि सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारंभी वंशीवट तटस्थित कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तुना तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा। So we welcome you all. Today is the third session for Mahaprasad. We completed Mahaprasad part 1, Mahaprasad part 2. Today is Mahaprasad part 3. Hopefully, we will wind up today. Hopefully. Mahaprasad, we were the main intention for these 3 or 4 sessions, whatever it will be, was the importance of Mahaprasad, and that Mahaprasad should be solely and only for pleasure of Krishna. So we discussed many things. What are the items we should use? How those items should be to the maximum purity and maximum natural status, not processed with preservatives and chemicals. Then the main factor in prasadam was milk, which we discussed. Milk, dahi, buttermilk, butter and ghee. Then the milk giving animal, cow, we discussed about cow, that it should be the regular local desi cow. Whatever place you are in, every place has desi cows and local cows. There should not be gene mutation or gene tailored cows like Jersey cows. Because as I told you, Jersey cow is not a cow, basically it is the body of a cow, but consciousness and gene of a pig. So today, basically prasad means there are 1 or 2 more things which is important. The timings of prasadam. How many times you should have prasadam in a day? 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 times, 7, 8 times. No, Krishna has prasadam like 7 or 8 times in a day. Like before Mangalarti, Prabhupada, he gave us a very strict and good timetable for offerings in the regular established temples. That before Mangalarti, there should be 5 sweets, 5 different kinds of sweets offered to Krishna before Mangalarti. After Mangalarti and before Darshanarti, again there should be something, whatever milk and, yes said, if the temple has capacity, saffron milk, dry fruit saffron milk, whatever, and some more things. And then after Darshanarti, there is a regular bhoga, breakfast bhoga, which is between 8:30 to 9 or 8 to 8:30, something like that. 8 to 8:30. Then there is another one before the afternoon arti. That is the regular Raj Bhoga. And Prabhupada mentions the Raj Bhoga should have minimum, I think, 13 items. 1, 3. 2 types of rice, 2 types of sweets, 3, 4 sabjis, and out of that 1 should be paneer sabji. There should be some chutneys, papad, salads, and whatever. So he has mentioned minimum 13 items. You can offer more than 13, whatever you can. That is for established temples. ISKCON established temples, these rules are there. Then again he has before 4:30 darshan, evening darshan. Before darshan he again has something. Then again before evening arti. Then after Shayan arti. So many. So at least 7, I think 7 or 8 times in a day. So Prabhupada has given us a total timetable in which way Krishna will get all 56 bhog throughout the day. 56 different kind of bhogas. Every time you have to offer it with lunch and this and breakfast, some juices and fruit juice or lemon juice or whatever, and many things like that. And everything is counted. So Krishna, we funnily in fun we call here is Krishna is khane wala Bhagwan. Krishna is khane wala Bhagwan means eating God. As soon as the eating is finished and he washes his hands, you have to start preparation for the next eating. So of course, we as devotees are not supposed to eat 7 and 8 times in a day. There is a saying in India, जो दिन में एक बार खाता है वो योगी. One who eats once in a day is yogi. One who eats 2 times in a day is bhogi, means he is a sense enjoyer. Anyone who's eating 2 times in a day is a sense enjoyment. Who is eating 1 time in a day is yogi. He is a And anyone who is eating 2 times is bhogi, sense enjoyer. And anyone who is eating 3 times in a day is rogi. That means he is a diseased person. It is an invitation to diseases. And then more than 3 times, because previously, all of you who are here in the attending the lecture, I hope everyone is like in the age between 30 to 50, 60, whatever it is. So you might be remembering when we were small, like 10, 15 years old, there were regulated eating, not that any time you can eat and like that. So regulated eating, fixed timing, and there was not so all these things, like the junk food. There was no junk food. Why do they call it junk food? Junk food, junk means that is supposed to be thrown in the dustbin. So that's why they call it junk. It is actually junk. So when we were small, you see normally the snacks would be something milk and poha, and some paratha puri with pickle, or any rotis with pickle. Just children would be happy if they had a couple of rotis with pickle. Lontsa poli. That was a typical bhook lagli. Children would say, "I'm hungry." There would be always some rotis in the house. Mother would give rotis with pickle. That's all. Finish. And the child would be happy. Now the child is not happy. Even you give him the best chocolates. No, I don't want this. This is not like this. This is not with almonds. This is so much. It's crazy. They have gone crazy because of the nonsense variety. So, according to one's situation in life, one can decide how many times he has to eat prasad, how much energy he needs. Like some people, they may be doing a lot of physical work, like farmers and carpenters and plumbers and like that. Some people, they may not be doing a lot of physical work. They just have some work sitting in an office, so they don't burn more calories. So basically, you have to plan yourself. Someone who is working hard, he may need to eat more. Overeating prasad is also a offense. There are offenses to prasad also, like offenses to chanting. So overeating of prasad is an offense. Overeating, sometimes it happens in the initial days when you come, the prasad is so tasty and delicious, you are attracted to the prasad. You just basically, many of the devotees in ISKCON, they just come for prasad. When I joined, and I was looking after a small place, like an in charge, preaching in charge, and there would be meetings, like all surrounding preaching in charge meetings. So they would call me, okay, Prabhuji, tomorrow is meeting. So my first question would be, what is prasad? And if the menu is good, then I would, yes. So tomorrow I should go to the meeting. This is good prasadam. So Prabhupada said chanting, dancing, and feasting. So what we do, we come first, we do the chanting, then do the dancing, and then there is feasting. So once you enter, there is chanting, there is dancing, there is feasting. So I entered through the back door. So first there was feasting. If you go from the front door, there is chanting, then dancing, then feasting. So I went from the back door. So first was feasting. So I was habituated to feasting first. So by eating prasadam, there are a lot of benefits, but the prasadam should be a proper one, and cooked in proper consciousness, cooked by devotees, cooked with good materials. So prasadam can help you in many realizations if one is sincere and honest in Krishna consciousness. So also another thing is, after eating, one should not sleep for at least 2 hours. Immediately after eating, there should be a gap of 2 hours. Only after 2 hours you can think of sleeping. So that is another problem. Many people are not taking care of that. Now, as I said, what kind of course, we don't make every day in our homes, in residences and homes, in lunch, dinner, or whatever breakfast. We don't cook 5 items and 10 items and 13 items and 15 items. But if you're reading Chaitanya Charitamrit, it was a regular feature. Previously, the women folk of the house, there would be like a joint family. There would be many women, like families of 20, 25 people, and maybe more, and there would be like 5, 6 women in the house who are cooking for 20 people. So one would cook chutney and sabji, another would cook chapatis and rice, the third one would cook kadhi and like that. So there would be practically in Chaitanya Charitamrit, if you read, you will see that every day there were like 13, 15 preparations. And even in Krishna's plate, now you see Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he has compiled a Bhog Arti. So in that he is describing, how one should offer to Krishna, what one should offer to Krishna in brief and in just a sketch, like a outline sketch. And then how, in what kind of mood should one offer to Krishna, how he should present himself in front of Krishna while offering the food, the bhoga. This very wonderful bhoga arti. Many of us, they don't know about this, but still I'll read it out to you along with the meaning. This is by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who is one of the greatest exalted personalities. Bhaj Bhakat Vatsala Shri Gaura Hari, Shri Gaura Hari, Sohi Goshta Bihari, Nanda Yashomati Chittahari. Bhakta Vatsala, one who is Bhakta Vatsal, he takes care of his devotees like children. Shri Gaura Hari. Please chant the names of Shri Gaura Hari, who is Bhakta Vatsal Bhaja. Hey Gaura Hari, Shri Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda's son. They are the heart and soul of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. Please chant his names. Bela Halo Damodar Aise Ekhane, Bhoga Mandire Bosi Kore Bhojane. Ho Damodar Shri Krishna. Now it's time for lunch. It is afternoon time. Please come in the Bhog Mandir for lunch. Please come. Nandera Nidesh Kaise Girivar Dhari Baladev Sah Sakha Baise Sari Sari. So he is Girivar Dhari, Govardhan Dhari, and Baladev, and along with Sakha, along with the friends, please come. Oh Girivar Dhari, oh beholder of Govardhan, come along with Balram, come along with your friends. So this is how, when you offer bhoga, it is not only for Krishna. Oh Krishna, this is for you. No, come with Balram, come with all your friends, come with all your associates. Krishna is never alone. Shukta Shakadi Bhaji Nalita Kushmanda Dali Dala Na Dugdha Tumbi Dadi Mochakhand. So basically, I will not read the main poetry now. I'm just telling you the meaning of. I'll just read the meaning because it has like 17 couplets. It has 17 couplets. So I'll read the meaning of that. So now he is describing what have we prepared for you. Please, all of you come. And he's announcing now what is there. There is Shukta, but it is nice to hear this recipe. So, no, not recipe. Vyanjans means items, the items which are being offered in bhoga. Shukta Shakadi Bhaji Nalita Kushmanda Dali Dalana Dugdha Tumbi Dadi Mocha Khanda Mugdha Vada Masha Vada Roti Ka Ghritan शष्कुली पिष्टक क्षीरपुली पायसात्र कर्पूरम अमृत केली रंभा क्षीर सार अमृत रसाला अम्ल द्वादश प्रकार. Dvadasha prakara. So today there are 12 items. This is what, that's why I said Prabhupada said 12 or 13, something like that for Rajbhog. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying there is Shukta, there is Saag, there is Bhaji, there is Nalita, there is Bhaji of Kohla, Petha. There is Dal, there is Dalna, there is Dugdha Tumbi, another sweet, there is Dahi, there is Mochakhanda, another sweet. There is Mugvade, Mugache Daliche Vade. This mug dal soak in water, grind it in mixer, and then just make small with these things and dry it in hot sun. That is called mug vade. Then there is udid dal vada. There is chapati with ghee. There is rice with ghee. There is shashkuli. There is pishtak. There is sheera. The sweet rice, puli, pavasanna, paisanna, amruta keli, rambha, shirasar, rasadar bhaji. That is sabji with gravy, dry sabji. So like this, and then 12 different types. Just a minute. What is Amruta Rasala Amla Dvadasha Prakaro? No, not 12 items. There are more than 12 items. 12 different types of chutneys, it is said. Dvadasha. So 12 different types of chutneys. Puri, there is sugar, there is sarpuri laddus, there is rasgulla, etc., etc., etc. So, oh Krishna, please come and accept this with joy. So, now Krishna has come and he is honoring all these, or he is eating all these things which have been prepared by Sri Radharani with love for Krishna. And along with Krishna, his Sakha Madhumangal, he is eating a lot of laddus. And when he is eating a lot of laddus, he is chanting Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. And he is making these sounds. He is making these sounds in his armpit, you know. He was famous in making some particular sound in the armpit, like it. I know some devotees who can do that. So he is very happy eating laddus and chanting Haribol, Haribol, along with making musical sounds from his armpit. And Shri Krishna is sitting in Yashoda Bhavan, and he is very satisfied. And Radharani and her Sakhis are watching from the outside the room, from the door frame, by their glances, how Krishna is enjoying everything what they have cooked. So after the lunch is finished, then Krishna drinks aromated water, and then they go and wash their hands and mouth, not with tissue paper, with water. After that, after washing his mouth, Krishna, Balaram and all his boyfriends take some rest. Then they are given mouth fresheners, aromatic jambul and masala yukta tambul, and then they sleep for some time. After some time, and Vishalaksha Shakhi is fanning them with a moorpankhi, with a peacock fan. And Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, according to Mother Yashoda's instructions, Shri Dhanishta Dasi, यशोदा मातेच्या आज्ञेवरून श्री धनिष्ठा दासीने आणलेला श्रीकृष्णांचा प्रसाद राधाराणी अतिशय. So Dhanishta Dasi brings Mahaprasad of Krishna to Radharani, and Radharani is now happily eating this Mahaprasad. Yashoda instructs Dhanishta Dasi to take Mahaprasad of Krishna to Radharani. Then Lalita Sakhi, after Radharani is finished, Lalita Sakhi and the other Sakhis, they eat the remnants of all that Mahaprasad and they are very happy. And in the mind, they are chanting Radha Krishna's names and glories and Radha Krishna's glories. So in the last, this is 16th, so in the last 17th one, always what happens if you see Vaishnav bhajans, in the last couplet, the author mentions himself and his mood. That is very important. Hari Leela Ekmatra Jahar Pramoda Bhogarati Gaya Sei Bhakti Vinoda. So Hari Leela Ekmatra Jahar Pramoda. Pramoda means happiness or joy. So whose only joy and happiness is Hari Leela, only, Ekmatra. Ekmatra means only. Whose only joy is Hari Leela. Such Bhakti Vinod. Such Bhakti Vinod is singing this Bhog Arati. So, this is how Bhaktivinoda Thakur is presenting himself in front of Krishna and expressing his mood of offering bhogas to Krishna. So this is how we offer. When we are offering to Krishna, it is for Krishna, Balaram, his friends, followed by Radharani, and then the remnants by gopis. After they all are finished, then whatever will remain is for us. But they are very merciful. They don't finish off what we offer, basically even one crumb of that. Because Krishna, he says, and Krishna eats. Actually, Krishna says, Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, Ashnami. Ashnami means I eat. But then the quantity is not reduced. No. But in Govardhan Lila, he ate. And he finished everything. And he asked for more. And then he ate and finished everything. And then he asked for more. And then he ate and finished everything. So like, Anyor, like this. Bring me more, bring me more. So, but Krishna, if he decides he can eat everything, if he decides he can eat everything without even touching anything, without even reducing any quantity. So, Anganiyasya sakalendriya vrittimanti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti ananda chinmaya sadujvala vigrahasya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Anganiyasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. Any organ of Krishna's body, any part of Krishna's body can perform any action. Anganiyasya, that is the completeness. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. So Krishna is complete in all respects and all aspects. Any part or any organ of Krishna's body can perform any activity. So when Krishna says I eat, so Krishna can eat through his hairs. Not necessarily Krishna will eat like this. Krishna can talk with his ears. Krishna can see with his nails. Krishna doesn't need his eyes to see. Krishna can see with his nails. Krishna can, similarly, Krishna can eat with his eyes. So just Krishna, by glancing on your bhoga, he can eat. Krishna's glance or Krishna's, as I said, any organ or any part of Krishna's body can perform any activity. So Krishna, this is the completeness. Sanganiyasya sakalendriya vrittimanti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti ananda chinmaya sadujvala vigrahasya. So that's why it is not necessary that when we offer how Krishna eats or this or that, there is no question of suspecting or doubting. Because our intelligence is unable to understand all these things, because we have to eat through our mouth. We cannot eat through our ears or eyes or hairs or So we cannot understand, we cannot think of like how can Krishna eat through his nose or eyes or hairs or ears or even nails. But that's why he is Krishna, because you cannot do it. You are not Krishna. Simple. If someone tomorrow says, I am God, okay, can you eat with your ears? Krishna can eat with his ears. Krishna can eat with his nails. Krishna can sing with his nails. So this is what, so that's not, so that's why it is very difficult. No one can claim I am Krishna. You know, he has to prove. So this is about. Then there is the regular prayer, Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Swalpa Punyavatam Rajan Vishwaso Naiva Jayate Sharira Vidyajal. So our body, Sharira with Avidyajal. Our body is a complete web, you know, a mess of avidya, ignorance. Our body is complete mess of ignorance. Sharira avidyajal. The problem, you see, we are so proud of our body. We are so taking so care of the body, how beautiful it should look, and how this and that, and so many things. Yes, yes, we should take care of the body. That's fine. That's fine. But I'm telling you the properties of this body. In this it is mentioned, Sharira Avidyajal, the body which we are possessing is completely full mess and a web, intricate web of avidya, of ignorance, confusion, nothing, doubts, misunderstandings. And above that, Jadendriya Tahekal, like they say you are already in trouble and there is some more big trouble. So all and the topping on that, on the cream on that, cream on the useless body is Jadendriya Tahekal. Then the body has been provided these 5 sense organs. They are more dangerous than that. 5 sense organs. Jadendriya Tahekal. And along with this, you are given these things. Jive fele Vishaya Sagare. What happens after that? You are thrown into the ocean of Vishaya, objects of enjoyment. Sharira avidyajal jadendriya tahekal jive fele Vishaya Sagare. Then the living entity is thrown into the ocean of Jiva, Vishaya Sagare. Vishaya is the objects of sense enjoyment. Tar madhye jivati, and out of this senses of enjoyment, jiva, the tongue, is the boss. It's terrible. You know, jiva is tar madhye jiva ati. It's terrible. Because you know the function of jiva is to taste something good and to speak all the time. Tar madhye jiva ati lobha maya sudurmati. So always the tongue is the main reason for destroying our intelligence. Lobha maya sudurmati. Take jeta kathin sansare. Now we are put into such a difficult situation. Once we are put into such a difficult situation, there is one of Take jeta kathin sansare. Krishna bada dayamay. Krishna has done one merciful thing for us. He has done one merciful thing for us after all these complications and problems and difficulties we are put in. There is one thing which is very merciful. Krishna bada dayamay. Kari bare jiva jai. He has arranged for something by which we can control and gain victory over our tongue. Kari bare jiva jai. Krishna bada dayamay kari bare jiva jai. Swaprasad Anna Dilo Bhai. What he has done, he has given us Krishna Prasad. He has given us Krishna Prasad by which we can gain victory over our tongue, control over our tongue. Paribare Jiva Jai Swaprasad Anna Dilo Bhai. Say Anamrita Pao. Please accept this nectarian prasadam. Please accept this nectarian prasadam. Say Anamrita Pao. Shri Radha Krishna Gunagao. And chant the glories of Shri Radha Krishna. Preme Dako Shri Chaitanya. And with love call out the names of Gauranga and Nityananda. Hey Gauranga, hey Nityananda. Bhajo bolo Gaurango, Bhaja Gaurango, Loha Gaurango re naam re. Jai Jana Gauranga bole sahi amara pran re. So we see that all these prayers, as I said, Vadani Kavala Geta, I told you in the first day. So all these, there are prasadam prayers. And if you have time, I don't think this Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Swalpa Punyavatam Rajan Vishwaso Naiva Jayate Sharya Vidyajal Jadendriya Tahe Kal Jive Fele Vishay Sagare Taramadde Jivati लोभ माया सुदुर्मति काके जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्ण बड़ा दयामय करी बारे जीव जाय स्वप्रसाद नदी लोभाय सयनामृत पाओ श्री राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमे डाको श्री चैतन्य निताय जय निमाय. So you see, it hardly took 35 seconds, just 35 seconds to chant these prayers. And after that, if you chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra for some time, 3, 4, 5 times, it is just 1 minute, maximum 1 minute to chant the Mahaprasad prayers. And I don't think that most of the time you are in a hurry, that you don't have 1 minute time to chant the Mahaprasad prayers before eating your breakfast, lunch or dinner, whatever it is. Another thing which I was telling you about the timing is one should not eat after 7 p.m. like after sunset. Normally, one should not eat at all after sunset. If only you want to eat something, you can drink some milk or some fruit juice or just some dahi or like that, or just a fruit like banana, single fruit. So one should not eat anything mostly after 6 or 7 p.m. Mostly, if you can stop eating after 6 p.m., that is good. But maximum 7 p.m. Similarly, one should not eat very early in the morning, like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. That's why Prabhupada has given us all proper program. You see the morning program, Mangalarti, this, that, and 8 to 9 Bhagavatam class, and then 9 o'clock is Prasadam. So that is the proper time for the first Prasadam is 9 o'clock. And then the second Prasadam is normally in the afternoon at 4 or 5 o'clock. In between 12 o'clock, if you are a little hungry or what, you can eat some fruits. So, as I said, it depends on everyone's circumstances, what kind of work he is doing, whether hard work or not a hard work. According to that, how much strength he needs. Then you have to decide you need to eat 1 time, 2 time, or 3 time, and how much you need to eat. Basically, you have to see that your body is nicely toned up and belly is not out. And every month you have to keep a watch on your weight, that the weight is not increasing. So if you are like, once you are grown like up to 25, 30 years and your weight is like whatever 60 kgs, then it should be 60 kgs throughout for the next 30 or 35 years. It should not be from 60, it should not go to 80 or 90. So you have to keep a tab on that. Every month you please check your weight so you understand, then check that your belly is not. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said specifically for temple devotees, he said this is for everyone, but specifically for temple brahmacharis. Anyone whose belly is out, he is a sense enjoyer. He is a bhogi, sense enjoyer. He is eating more than required. So eating more than required is an offense to prasad. Similarly, eating less also is not good for health. So this is all about prasadam we are talking. We talked about the prasadam prayers. We talked about prasadam. Similarly, I told you that basically devotees they don't eat onion garlic. Along with that, they don't eat mushrooms. They don't eat soya bean. They should not eat and they should not eat seaweeds. Seaweeds means any kind of vegetable that is found in the sea. So seaweeds. No seaweeds, no mushroom, no soya bean, no, what do you say? Seaweeds, mushroom, and one thing, and onion, garlic, and one more thing. Hare Krishna. Okay. So these things are also prohibited. Along with that, I have seen devotees drinking Coke and Pepsi and all these things. But I just somehow or the other, just after the last Mahaprasadam session in Saturday, Sunday, in between, I somehow saw a video where a person is putting Coke with menthol tablets in a hole, and the snake and the lizards, and they just come out in less than 30 seconds. No, they cannot. This Coke is so dangerous, so irritating. So they just come out, he catches them and he takes them. I think he's taking them for eating or whatever it is. But this is so easily, he's just, like lizards and this and that. And many people I have seen, they use Coke too as toilet cleaner. The toilet is cleaned very completely dot free. It's sparkling white when you clean with Coke and Pepsi. So that is what happens when you drink it. Your intestine will be cleaned, completely. I don't know what cleaning. And basically it is poisonous because it is just sweetened water with some colors. And any sweetened water with colors, if there are no poisonous preservatives, there will be insects. Immediately there will be insects in that, insects and caterpillars and everything. So just to keep them off for 6 months or a year, there are many poisonous things in that. And you can see that you can pour this Coke or this on lizards, and you can pour this on earthworms and see how it earthworms die, if you pour Coke and Pepsi on them. So now you will, because earthworm's body is small, it cannot tolerate that. But that doesn't mean this Coke and Pepsi is not harming us. It is harming us. All these canned fruit juices, this, that. And as I said, all these business people, they are not selling us all these things because they care for you. No one, anyone who is in business, Prabhupada said, business means no one cares for you. They don't care for you. They are caring for themselves. And the more the businessman has a demonly and money-making tendency, the less he cares for you. He doesn't bother what is happening to you. He just bothered about what I can earn more and more. So that's why I told you, market products, please avoid. Not good for health, physical health, and not good at all for spiritual health. For prasadam is very, very, very important. Try to understand. I told you, no tomatoes, no green chili, no red chili powder. And so I would like to request you, there are many more things which should be avoided, but that is not so strict. Like if you see in Jagannath Puri, there are so many things which are not offered to Jagannath. Basically, tomatoes are not offered, even potatoes are not offered, the carrots are not offered. Anything that grows under the ground is not offered. Tomatoes is, as I said, wild berries. Wild berries is for monkeys. It is not for humans. Also, you see big established temples in ISKCON like Vrindavan, Juhu, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and many big Mayapur and Calcutta. Whatever established temples by ISKCON, which are very big, you observe there. The Mahaprasadam from the deity's plate is there available. With some small donation, you can get Mahaprasadam from the deity's plate. Some puri sabji, some rice, some rasgullas, some chutneys, pakodas, whatever. So you see, you eat that prasadam from deity's plate, Mahaprasadam from deity's plate, and then you eat the temple devotee prasadam in the devotee kitchen or in devotee prasadam hall and all these things, and see the difference. Now, if you are cooking for Krishna in some particular way, why you are not cooking for in the same particular way for devotees? Why there is in Mahaprasadam from the deity's plate, You see in Vrindavan, you see in Mayapur, you see in Juhu, you see in Delhi, there is no red chili, there is no green chili, there is no spicy. Only there will be some chutney or one thing will be there. And in this bhoga thing also, I'll tell you one thing about this bhoga thing I forgot to mention. Here there is no hot or spicy item, no chili. You see, now shukta is a bitter sabji like karela sabji or something like that. Then bhaji is a fried vegetable. Nalita is a leafy vegetable. Dalna is paneer papaya, a vegetable from paneer papaya and what do you say, pumpkin, not the wild loki. Then dugdha tumbi is kheer from lauki and milk. Mochkhanda is dry sabji prepared from banana leaves. Shashkuli, it is noodles made from wheat flour and milk. So this noodles. Shevaya, pishtak, there is a sweet item from rice flour and rice flour, some sweet item from it. Kheer is like rabdi or basundi. Puli is also a sweet item made from wheat flour and milk. Kheer sar means there is cream. Kheer means milk and sar means essence of milk is cream. Kheer sar is cream, fresh cream is there. So what Krishna is eating is eating butter, cream, dahi, okay, like this. Amrut keli, another type of kheer. Rambha, there is bananas. Payasanna, another type of milk sweet, sorry. Luchi, there is puris. Sarpuri, a sweet made from milk cream. So like this, there is no mention, there are many, there is no mention of some hot or chili item. There is no mention. You know, there are chutneys. Chutneys are sour. Like you can use tamarind, you can use amsul. Now amsul, I don't know what is in English. Amsul has no word in English. Basically, I tried to find. I consulted Google Acharya. I consulted this Google Acharya. What is English for amsul? And he could not answer. But he told me the botanical name. Botanical name is Garcinia indica. Botanical name is Garcinia indica. So you can use amsul, you can use tamarind, and there are some sour fruits like that you can make chutney, like green mango, you know, which is not ripened green mango. Nice chutney you can, but that is seasonal. But like this, so there are chutneys, there are papads, there are pickles, so many things. There is lemon. There are different kind of juices. So this is what, as I said, we have to. There is no hot. And now I would like to tell you to experiment in life. I want to tell you one thing. Those people who are eating tomatoes and chili, red chili, green chili, and tomatoes, they don't know the taste of any sabji. They don't know taste of any sabji, any salad, nothing. Now listen to my logic, and you can try it at home. Because they are using so much of chili and this, that in sabji and salads and everything, that everything tastes chili. Whatever you eat, taste is chili. So you don't know how capsicum tastes. You don't know how pumpkin tastes. You don't know how cauliflower tastes. You don't know how cabbage tastes. You don't know how cucumber tastes. You don't know. Because everywhere is chili, red chili powder and this and that. So whenever you taste, it is chili. So similarly is with tomatoes. If you put tomatoes in everything, the only taste it is tomatoes. So anyone who's using tomatoes, you don't know the taste of the sabjis. You don't know the taste of the salads. You don't know the taste of the original item. Now all of you, anyone who is interested can perform an experiment, which I am telling you. For 2 months, don't use tomatoes, don't use green chili, don't use red chili, don't use red chili powder, don't use garam masala, don't use all these things. Zero means practically zero. Don't use all these things. And after 2 months, one day you put tomato in sabji. And then you will understand that tomato is destroying sabji's taste. Put tomato in dal. Then you will understand that tomato is destroying dal's taste. People think tomato is increasing taste. This is Maya. Maya means that which is not. People normally think that tomatoes is increasing the taste. But you do the experiment which I am telling. Don't use tomatoes at all for 2 or 3 months. And then one day you use tomato. You put tomato in dal, put tomato in sabji. And then, as I said, you will understand that tomato has actually destroyed the taste of dal and sabji. Similarly is with chili. Anyhow, tomato and chili are harmful for the body. That is there. But it is distasteful also. You think because of chili there is taste, but take up this experiment. 3 months, no red chili, no green chili, no red chili powder, no garam masala. After 3 months, one day, put red chili powder in sabji, put green chili in dal, put garam masala, whatever, salad, whatever you want. And one day you eat that. And then you will understand all these things are destroying the taste of your food. Even the food without these things is more tasty. And for the taste, I told you what to use. Use ginger, use cloves, use cardamom, use dalchini, use dhane seeds, coriander seeds, use methi dana, use poppy seeds, which is called khaskhas, use tamarind, use jaggery. So many things you can use, coconut, grated coconut. So many things you can use. So if any one of you is interested in performing this experiment, please you can start, you can plan and start in the next few days for 2 or 3 months. And whenever your 2 or 3 months are completed, and one day you eat something with tomatoes and chili, and what happens, what is your opinion? Please inform me. Please tell me what is your opinion after 3 months. Anyone who wants to experiment is free to experiment. So basically I have told you a lot about prasadam. I would like to wind up the prasadam sessions here today. So we will have some question answer sessions. I'm sure there will be many questions about prasadam, because what I have told you, maybe more than half of the information may be new for many of you. So anyone who has any questions, you can unmute your mic. Please tell me your name first and you can ask your question. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Krishna Prabhuji,
noodles. एक मिनट प्रभु जी. Noodles, but they should be homemade. Noodles should be homemade. हाँ बोला. Yes.
Nowadays, at least, I don't think so people know how to make the noodles at home. That skills, I think so it is lost. Anyway, no comments. Back to my question which I was having in my mind.
Which skills are lost? I didn't understand.
No, making the noodles at home, that skill has been lost.
That skills. Yes. That is, of course. Forget about noodles. Noodles is a bit difficult. Making pickles at home and papads at home is also almost lost now.
Yes.
Which is much simpler.
Yes. So no comments, no offense to the Matajis. Okay. So we are not criticizing any Matajis. Using the word. Leave it there. I learned, Prabhuji, a new thing from you, your class today, which is, of course, more informative and information was very good. But even Krishna, I was under impression that Krishna is taking the only from his 5 senses. That was my understanding. He explained that not only the 5 senses, even he takes from his hairs and nails and any part of the body, which is really news to me.
Yes, that is.
And of course,
Krishna can perform anywhere. Krishna can perform any activity by any of his senses.
Yes, but then hair and the nails doesn't come under the sense. No? I don't know. We should consider the sense.
Krishna's body is what you say, Satchidananda. They are his hairs and nails are also lively, not dead like us. Basically, our body is dead. Material body means a dead body. Just because the soul is there, Krishna's body is not dead. Spiritual body is not a dead.
Another question I was having that you shared that we should not be using the
Using
soybean. You know, in the market we get that soya beans, no?
soybean, yes, soybean.
Yes, so you said we should not
Soybean,
use.
this like paneer chunks, soybean chunks.
Yes, yes. I think that is made from the waste of the soya, and they dry it and then sell it in the market, and it is being very high level sale is there, and people say it's very good for the, it has protein and so on. I don't know what is the reason we are saying we should not be offering the soya beans to Lord Krishna.
No. As I said, Krishna can digest anything. You know, Shankar, Mahadev, he digested the poison from the Samudra Manthan. So offering to Krishna is not a problem, but we cannot eat.
Okay. So if in case we use soya bean in our cooking, we can offer to the Krishna. Nothing wrong in that.
Yeah, you can see a poor person, if he has nothing, Krishna is saying, offer me patram pushpam phalam toyam. So maybe a very poor person, he just plucks a leaf from some tree. Maybe that leaf is poisonous. He doesn't know that, and he offers it to Krishna with love. You know, like, so that doesn't mean he can eat that leaf.
No, like what I was trying to correlate, because when you said that some of the things cannot be used, you start with the onion, garlic, then tomatoes
Yes.
and chilies. So all of us, we know, okay, being a Vaishnava followers, we should not be
Normally, I
utilizing
tell
the
you
onion,
why we
garlic,
are offering food. Prabhu, we
and
are
onion,
offering
garlic.
food because we are going to honor that after that.
Okay. And then we heard from the so many acharyas, onion, garlic has so many reason behind it. It came from the blood of all the Rakshasas and so and so. But similarly, soya bean is not like this, according to my understanding, right? Soya bean doesn't have any background like this.
No, soya bean, masoor, mushroom, and seaweeds. These four things, they are basically in the mode of ignorance. Similarly, kadhi patta, if you know kadhi patta, the curry leaves, they are in the mode of passion. Ice cream, you see, ice cream, if properly prepared with milk and everything, if it doesn't have some wrong ingredients, ice cream is also in the mode of passion. So normally that has to be avoided. Means eating ice cream is not a problem because it is you are not breaking any principles if the ice cream is prepared in a proper way, as I said. So ice cream is in the mode of passion. That's the problem. So one who has to transcend the mode of nature and who has to go to Vishuddha Sattva, first Sattva and then Vishuddha Sattva, he has to avoid anything which is in the mode of passion and completely reject anything that is in the mode of ignorance. So all food items, they are categorized and they fall into all these three different modes. So as I said, ignorance mode food items are to be completely rejected. Mode of passion items should be avoided to the maximum extent you can, and sattva guni food products should be accepted. So curry leaves is in mode of passion. Ice cream is in mode of passion.
Okay, so curry leaves we are utilizing regularly. Without that, no bhoga offering finishes curry leaves because that is our part of the preparation. But then, do we have anywhere this, like just now you said there are these products, these are the raw materials or ingredients which is being used in different modes. Is available somewhere list like this? We can find some list that which are the items comes under which guna and we should avoid them.
Yeah, may not be a detailed list of each and every item, but most of the in Ayurveda, basically all this is mentioned in Ayurveda.
Okay. Okay,
You
so
know,
I think
Ayurveda is a vast.
yes.
Yeah, soybean is in mode of ignorance.
Okay.
See, basically, soybean, mushroom, masoor, and seaweeds are in mode of ignorance, and onion and garlic is in the mode of deep ignorance.
Okay. So we have to avoid them as much as possible.
Yeah, and one more thing, like as you said, making of noodles art has vanished. So you can learn it.
I know you know it how to make it.
Yeah, I heard you are coming to Vrindavan very soon.
Yes, all your mercy and Radharani's mercy.
So we will start making noodles here now. Devotee is homemade noodles. You need some engagement in Vrindavan, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Guruji, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I will give chance to other devotees to
Anyone
speak and
else?
ask the question.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Any question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, just now you told about soya bean, but I saw in some of the ISKCON temples, especially where the Bengali devotees are there, they offer the soya bean to Krishna.
Yeah, ISKCON. They are using soya bean. I know that many devotees are also eating. We need to avoid
Yeah,
basically.
according to Ayurveda, soya bean and masoor dal and all, they are rich in proteins. And when we eat the proteins more, it takes us to the lusty desires. Proteins are actually not good for our consciousness. That's why in Ayurveda, high protein, especially from such kind of proteins like from masoor dal and it's condemned.
Soya bean.
Yeah, the proteins from milk is good, but the proteins from such products like mushroom and soya and
Yes.
masoor dal is not good.
Yeah, because they are in mode of ignorance.
Yeah,
They
passion,
don't
passion,
help. Yeah. So
passion.
anyhow,
Rajogun. So,
so as a,
but I saw that many temples they offer the soya bean to Krishna.
yeah, I have seen, but I don't think that they offer it to the deities. I don't think so. They may be using it in devotee kitchen and devotee prasadam.
Yeah, devotee prasadam.
I don't think it is offered to the deities
Okay, okay. So
because
we should
I was
avoid the
never in
soya
a
bean.
anything you were saying something.
Prabhuji, there are some questions in the chat box.
Chat box. Okay, I'll check. Just a minute. Oh, there is something about masoor dal, Maggi. Okay, soya bean. No, no. As I said, offering to Krishna is not a problem, but eating, consuming ourselves is a problem. So masoor dal and basically one should not use masoor dal, soya bean, mushrooms, and this that. If you still have some stock in your house, you finish it off and try to avoid if you can avoid. Avoiding that is recommended because it can slow down your progress by some extent. One small thing, one small desire, forget about this masoor and soya bean. As I said, one small tinge of desire can be a big wall between you and Krishna. So it is very, like one has to be very careful at a final stage. Currently, we may not be like pure 100% pure or 80% pure or 70% pure, but we slowly we have to progress. We have to increase the percentage of our purity slowly. So, okay, whatever, if you have some stock in your house,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, it's fun directly in this secure. I mean, nobody goes to the router. It just stopped working randomly, and so the first thing I did was just unplug the router and plug it back in just for the first.
महापुरुष प्रभू तुम्ही म्यूट आहात.
हा ऍक्च्युली काय झालंय की मला कनेक्शन मध्ये तुटलं होतं, आता चालू झालं. So there was some problem with internet for 1 minute. So now it's okay. Anyone has any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'm Vendula from Kenya. I just need to know the way you taught us, about different fruits like vegetables and all. What about fruits? We can offer all kinds of fruits to Krishna?
Yeah, fruits basically you can offer. I don't see any fruits this thing, but there are some particular fruits. I think I have to check, which in Ayurveda they say is not good for our health. Basically, the normal fruits which are available all over the world, they are good. The apples and bananas and different kind of mangoes and peaches and chickus and guavas and all this. Strawberry. I think strawberry or something, that kind of fruits has some problems, which come in the berry categories,
Blueberry, raspberry, we cannot offer.
Yeah, there's all these berries, they have some problem. I can tell you tomorrow, I am not confirmed. But these are berries are not allowed basically. The raspberry, strawberry and what.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This is
Yes.
Akila. Just wanted to ask about the Sattva Guna food items. Can you give some examples for Sattva Guna food items?
Yeah, I think you joined in today and you were not there for last Saturday, Sunday, yes?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So yeah, last Saturday, Sunday lecture has been uploaded on YouTube. You just go to YouTube and search Mahapurush Das, you will see my channel. And you can, so last Saturday, Sunday was Mahaprasad part 1 and part 2. Today was Mahaprasad part 3. So in part 1 and part 2, everything is explained. You can hear that part 1 and part 2, all your doubts will be cleared.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
This is Lal Mohan from Mathura.
Yeah, Hari Bol.
I don't know whether this is also answered. Just want to ask whether any specific timings there for Bhoga offering.
See, there is for temples, there are a set of rules which have to be maintained very strictly. For grihasthas, it is flexible because grihasthas, they have a lot of assignments and you cannot maintain a particular time. So grihasthas, the rule is that whenever it is comfortable for you, whenever your plan is there to have some lunch, dinner, breakfast, you cook, you offer to Krishna and then you eat. So there is nothing very strict about grihasthas. The only rule for grihasthas is whatever you eat, you should offer and eat.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So Hare Krishna, we'll stop here, I think, and we'll meet tomorrow, and tomorrow we will discuss something new. Is that okay?
Okay, Prabhuji. Anybody?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna,
Hari Bol.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.